The Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our ServiceNow series, where we interview the best and brightest of the industry to share their story, advice, and views on the exciting world of ServiceNow and digital transformation.
Hello everybody, my name is Mark Kelly, Chief Customer Officer and co-founder at Alldus, and very happy to welcome Victor Lemmens. Victor is a guest on our Alldus ServiceNow podcast series, and Victor is the CEO of Wrangu. Victor, thank you very much for being on our podcast today.
Thank you, Mark.
Victor, tell us a little bit about your journey before you joined Wrangu, and then if we could then talk a little bit about your roles and responsibilities at Wrangu. And for those people who've been living under a rock, maybe you could also tell us Wrangu. So I've already asked you 3 questions as a starting point.
Funny enough, I'm a lateral entrant into my current work. I started my career as a mechanical engineer, specializing in embedded software and control systems engineering back in the days. As a Dutch citizen, I did my full technical academic career in Germany and Sweden, followed by an MBA back in the Netherlands. I speak 5 languages. I'd say I'm a bit of a prototype European as such. Ever since, I worked on the brink of business strategy and information technology. During the first 10 years, that was not always easy because information technology was hardly seen as strategic, being called tools in the first place. Those were the days when your IT training as a strategy consultant was PowerPoint. And ever since, I dug into the intriguing subject, how information technology could be connected to company strategies, connecting my engineering and business administration backgrounds. In the end, I did that for a good reason. Information is the oxygen a company needs to live, and what a board needs to take the right decisions at the right moment in time. It always baffled me that software platforms were hardly actually not at all serving the steering control processes of organizations, but very much focused on back office processes. And, those back office processes are not really the places where decisions are being taken. It's also not the part of the organization that makes your customer pay your invoices. Customer value is very much connected to the core processes of an organization and not to back office ones. So long term, your steering control processes are the ones that you need to start managing. And I would say that software platforms have always a bit been dancing around that inconvenient truth, even up to the point of telling customers to deliver the digital core, but are actually delivering the digital back office. And the digital core basically really is very much related to the machine code embedded in your core processes. I'd even say many software platform providers don't even realize themselves they don't sell what they think they sell, having gotten just too used to their own narratives. And circling back to where I started, in the grand scheme of things, steering control processes are the ones we need to focus on, and the ones basically I've been focusing on for the last 20 years. And as it already says, basically steering control processes can be divided into steering processes and control processes indeed. So companies can achieve their aspired performance and their required performance in one stroke. Strategy management and value delivery cover the first part of this equation. Risk and compliance cover the second part of this equation. And together, this is what you could call the governance framework of your company. And that's the moonshot, basically, Wrangu will sink our teeth into in the upcoming years to the benefit of our customers and also ServiceNow.
Tell us a little bit about Wrangu and your role within that, and then we can also kind of go into that, as you coined it, a moonshot, in terms of risk and compliance and how you're actually helping within this niche.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you look at Wrangu, also we're a ServiceNow partner. We are a ServiceNow elite partner. And we are fully dedicated to risk and resilience. So basically 3 things in total: governance, risk, and compliance, in short GRC, security operations, in short SecOps, and last but not least, environmental, social, and governmental impact, in short ESG. Our mission in those 3 different dimensions is basically fourfold. So in the first place, we are fully dedicated to this and are the go-to partner within the ServiceNow partner ecosystem for those purposes. As an implementation partner of ServiceNow propositions. Secondly, allow ServiceNow customers to leverage its investment into the Now platform. Avoid the investment into all kinds of incumbent point solutions and minimize risk in one stroke, since the Now platform allows for risk management in one data reality. Third, I'd say build niche products on top of this, primarily to allow ServiceNow customers to be compliant by design, as compliance goes far beyond the mission of a risk management activity. Fourth, be relentlessly innovative in those fields. So talking moonshot, this area isn't known for huge leaps, where we still see several directions we could go. So to mention some, automation and identification of relevant operational risk taxonomies, connection of enterprise risk management to such taxonomies, dovetailing performance and conformance, as I mentioned before, risk and return basically, and true value management activities in the risk management arena, reckoning that value delivery in that space beyond efficiency gains is very much related to the fact that risk is the potential deviation of performance. Hence, the real pockets of value with risk management solutions can be found in the ability to control risk, not manage risk. A lot of conversations we're aiming at in the last, I would say, 10 to 20 years in this area. But to our humble opinion, true breakthroughs are still possible and actually necessary.
And when you look at your team, it's such an exciting time for you at Wrangu, and you're successfully winning additional business. You've kind of taken, I suppose, a really nice position now with some of the changes in the partnership setup with ServiceNow, and you're really playing to your strengths within that risk area. Tell us a little bit about how you're set up to succeed and help customers with risk and compliance with both the products and the services that you're offering.
I'd say, looking at what makes Wrangu special, basically it's 6 different things. The first place, I would almost say it's a platitude, but truly the individuals that make up our team. We give talent the freedom to operate so they can do the best for our customers. We'd say number 2, a very open culture. Of course, we do have a hierarchy in the company, but that is outward looking. In order to have a structured approach to any stakeholder we serve within the company, there are no ranks beyond the point of serving those external stakeholders, be it customers, shareholders, or society, in the best possible way. Substance over hierarchy anytime really within our company. Number 3, I'd say the diversity of our team. It's 24 nationalities and 29 languages spoken among our 50 people. Number 4, really not only understanding what GRC, SecOps, and ESG is heading for, but also a clear picture of the end game. So our incremental steps to that end game make sense from the get-go. They all fit into a bigger scheme. Number 5, I'd say our mission to deliver customer value, preferably beyond the efficiency gains in our domain. Efficiency gains have been the game for almost 20 years now in GRC and SecOps. So the real interesting benefits are obviously those that make customers more effective in our domain. Still a lot can be done in that respect, and that's what we aim for in the upcoming years. And last but not least, the culture of delivering on promise and beyond, period, really. This is what makes Wrangu that hidden champion in ServiceNow GRC, SecOps, and ESG that is increasingly becoming more unhidden, I'd say.
Yeah, and it's important to have that team and have that culture and that kind of golden thread about what you want to be famous for and adding that value. When you think about some of the challenges your customers have had within different industries, can you tell us, maybe share some examples about how you've taken them on a journey and supported them?
And let me see, it's honestly incredible time for Wrangu going forward, indeed. Wrangu is growing as never before, and that's not just a platitude, but a true matter of fact. Increasingly, our focus on GRC, SecOps, and ESG is paying off. It obviously isn't only about our capabilities in the Now platform, but breathing the same air as our customers do helps tremendously. And what I mean, there are actually our business customers. Obviously, we do serve IT departments in many cases, but our ability to connect and reach out to business owners in GRC, SecOps, and ESG around the chief information offices of our customers has no equal, really. As an example, we actually employ lawyers to secure the desired results for customers in the compliance arena. And let me give you some examples here. Our privacy management stack is relentlessly focused around the privacy process and the business owners for this particular purpose, not least the data privacy officer. Using our privacy solution, customers get compliant by design. If you will, our solutions come with an advisory proposition making you compliant. Those solutions are being used by large organizations around the globe, allowing to be compliant in the complex environments they operate, both internally and externally. Based on 5 years experience, we will release a standardized version of this solution short term for those companies that accept to adopt to an embedded privacy process and adjust the organization accordingly. Other remarkable examples from recent days are GRC and SecOps activities we inherited from other ServiceNow partners and allowed us to deliver additional customer value beyond their expectations. Third example, I'd say, is our deep capability to integrate data management activities into the compliance arena. In many cases, compliance is focused on data compliance indeed. Our solutions allow for data management activities in accordance with the pertaining legislation and regulation.
Yeah, and we, even just having the examples is very helpful, because for people listening in and thinking about some of the challenges they have, it inspires them to take action and kind of go through what possible solutions could do. And for a lot of the time, they may not actually know the impact on some of these challenges that the business can have now, but also in the future challenges, because they may think it's one challenge. However, it could be a multitude of different challenges that come down the track.
Yeah, true. The world is increasingly becoming more complex as such. That's what you see happening. And, basically what you also see, the paradigm shift occurring at the moment related to that complexity, which is that the technical depth of companies didn't allow them to basically have additional complexity from the outside world working on them. And that's basically where we see ServiceNow with the Now platform playing in a very important role going forward, where with flexibility of the platform, on the one hand, the low-code software capabilities, as such, you can truly adjust to that external complexity and make it work against your internal requirements. So, if you look into a lot of companies, they're going through thought processes at the moment where they start to understand that many processes can be commoditized, or, if you will, standardized. They're not strategic or prescribed through external factors like legislation and regulation. And as I said before, where IT is getting increasingly more strategic, the benefits of low code start to play out. The other thing also here, very much related to the Now platform, is what we always call it internally. It's that one big API. and its hyperconnectivity is so super important nowadays, actually, to make all those processes work in customer.
You're kind of answering my next question, which is why do you think the Now platform has been so successful?
I think for those reasons, really. There are a lot of factors actually playing into the modern IT world. There has always been one subject rather underestimated, which is low-code software capabilities of platforms. A lot of attention has been for decades on pro-code. And on a personal note, I was already programming in Delphi back in the 90s, which in the old days was called rapid application development. And nowadays, if you peek into their website, you will see they call themselves low-code as well. And the beauty of this one really is that you can go into those pockets of processes in your organization that need to be bespoke because you are different as a company from your competitors. The reason why, to mention two brother fights, why Lidl is different from Aldi, why Adidas is different from Puma. But also reckoning those processes that in the end of the day don't make a difference for you delivering customer value. And being on top of that and recognizing where your USP is and basically where your special part of the organization is makes platforms like ServiceNow, and I would say ServiceNow is on pole position here, to really bring home the ultimate value for your customers. And that's where I think ServiceNow truly has an asset so that it's playing out at the moment.
And when you look at what's next for Wrangu, and I know you don't want to give too many secrets away, but what does the future look like?
In the first place, I'd say growth. We are looking at a very, very, very promising pipeline at the moment. We are truly exponentially growing. That I would even say that I'm very careful in my wording here. That's one thing. The other thing is indeed we'd like to be that innovative partner, and we will be that innovative partner for ServiceNow, making a difference in the governance, risk, and compliance arena, in the security operations arena, in the ESG arena. And the reason for that simply is that if you look into ServiceNow as a platform provider, obviously, you are delivering that platform to customers, which automatically also means that if you are that end-to-end champion, you can't be the top-to-bottom champion at the same moment in time. You can't, even the biggest companies in the world can't boil the ocean in the end of the day. So that's the role what we would like to play. And circling around to the start of our conversation, that's also why we're so happy with the revised ServiceNow partner strategy, which actually allows specialist partners to really make a difference for ServiceNow in those areas where, frankly, they can't focus on, given the fact that ServiceNow, in the end of the day, is focusing on the big picture.
Victor Lemmens, CEO of Wrangu, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Mark. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.